So you've been thinking about making a switch or joining Keller Williams Realty, and you want to do a little more research before you actually make the switch. You've come to the right place. I've been at Keller Williams now for about 2 years, and I switched from another brokerage in our area after working there for 2.5 years. So I'm excited today to tell you all of the things I know about working at KW so you can make a more informed decision. Hi, I'm Marissa, and I have been a real estate agent for now 4.5 years, which feels crazy to say. And like I said, for half my time I've been at KW. So let's dive in. We are going to break this up into a few different categories: culture, fees and finance, tech and tools, training, and then just some random tips and overall opinion. We're also going to talk about the difference between joining a franchise and a larger brokerage rather than being at a smaller brokerage, because I was at a boutique brokerage before I switched to KW. We had less than 15 agents there, and I was terrified to switch to a large brokerage. So we're going to talk about some of the pros of working at a large brokerage. I do just want to give a quick disclaimer, of course, that every office is independently owned and operated, so you might have different experiences at different offices. For example, I work at KW Fox Cities. We are a real estate office based out of Appleton, Wisconsin. So if you're joining a KW office in like Georgia, for example, or Texas, your experience might be a little bit different than mine, but today I am just gonna share my personal experience. Okay, let's start with culture. I've got my notes here, so you're just gonna see me looking at my laptop a whole lot so we can stay on track. But the culture of KW is very tech focused and forward thinking. They are very high energy, I will say, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm naturally very introverted, but I do not find the energy of KW intimidating whatsoever. It's actually a very welcoming energy and a very empowering energy. So it's not so in your face. The other thing I would like to point out is it's very non-competitive. You are recognized for your achievements, which is super nice and very, very important because it is so vital to celebrate your accomplishments. They celebrate your first accepted offer all the way up to you capping on company dollar and keeping 100% of your commissions, which we will talk about. One thing I especially love about working at KW is we are not ranked. We are recognized. If you're a top producer, you'll be posted in the monthly top producers and recognized at the stakeholder meeting, which is just a fancy way of saying an office meeting. And we also have an annual awards gala. And so at that point, you're recognized for your transaction history over the year and your production levels, but you're also recognized for non-production awards as well. So if you've been really a standout in terms of culture or doing any other great thing, you might be recognized at the awards gala, which I really, really love. It's not all about who can sell the most real estate. Another cool thing that I have found about working at KW the past couple of years is that there is a strong sense of collaboration over competition. And what I mean by that is that agents are not afraid to share their secrets. You'll have the agents who have been doing real estate for 30 years and they have their tips and tricks and they will share them with anybody who's willing to listen. They will teach classes. All agents of all experience levels will be able to teach classes depending on what their skill set is. So you're really encouraged to lean into your skills and run with it. Along with that, at Keller Williams, there is a unique structure called the ALC, which is the Associate Leadership Council. And with that, they have the top 20% of agents as chairs on these committees. So there are a couple different committees like Strategic Alliance, Finance, Culture Committee, and then you have those chairs at the top who are in charge of making the ultimate decision, bringing it to the office and kind of advocating on behalf of the rest of the agents. And then if you're just an agent who is not yet a top producer, you can still go to these committee meetings and voice your concerns, voice your opinions, and put your 2 cents in. And then your committee chair will take that to the ALC meeting, which is held for our office right after the stakeholder meeting. So they talk to the rest of the ALC and they make decisions based off of what they talk about at those meetings. And I do think it is really cool that we have a voice at our brokerage, and if we see that something really needs to be changed, we can bring that up and make it happen. They also have a structured and designated staff, which was one of my main reasons for switching, actually. They will actually replace staff in a timely manner, and they have people who are designated coaches, designated brokers, designated accountants. They have people who are in these positions for a purpose, and they are not just pulling random agents to sit in and fill that spot, which is typically how it goes at a lot of other brokerages, especially the small ones. They will pull in the newer agents, make them sit front desk, things like that. But I love, love, love how KW keeps a designated staff. And if there's a hole in that staff lineup, KW does everything in their power to fill that role in a reasonable time frame. Okay, let's move on to finances. I know this is going to be a huge point for a lot of people in determining if they want to switch or not. So typically at KW offices, and like I said, I'm just going to speak for personal experience, this is typically the structure of a KW office. However, like I said at the beginning, this is just me going off of KW Fox Cities. I've never worked at any other KW office, so this may not be completely accurate depending on which state you're working in or which area in Wisconsin. So be sure to ask your team leader or whoever you are meeting with when you interview with them about these things. Okay, first things first is there is a monthly office fee. This covers your KW Command database, errors and omissions insurance, electronic signing software, and much, much more. They also have it itemized on your invoice, which I really so appreciate because it's very transparent about what you're paying for. And it's not just a blanket amount that the brokerage can't justify why they're charging you that. Typically, right now, my office fee is about $160, and then we also have to pay for color copies and black and white copies, so that will show up on my invoices if I do print any of that. Another thing to keep in mind is you have to buy your own signs, you have to pay your own sign installer, you have to pay for your own photos, staging. Pretty much any marketing or advertising expense is going to be your responsibility, which I just know is not the same for every single brokerage, so I just wanted to point that out. Now let's get to one of my favorite parts. A lot of companies have adopted this structure, but that is a capping structure. We pay 6% for royalty and 30% for company dollar. However, once you have reached 3,000 contributed for royalty, then you cap on that amount and you get to keep that extra 6% that would have gotten taken off your checks. And then company dollar is $22,000, and that has to be within your capping year. So for example, mine starts up in October and my cap resets in October. So any transactions that I have from, let's just say, October 2024 to October 2025 are eligible for that capping period. If I contribute the $3,000 towards royalty during that time or the $22,000 for company dollar during that time, I could cap and keep 100% of my commissions for the rest of the closings that I have in that capping period. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, a lot of companies have adopted a capping structure, but there are still quite a few out there that you will never ever cap on your commission. You will never get to keep truly 100%. And at KW, you can truly keep 100%. Another cool thing they have is profit share. So if you encourage somebody to come over and join KW, so let's say I have an agent that wants to get into the business and I take them under my wing and I mentor them and I'm listed as this new baby agent sponsor. Once they start selling and if the office has profit to share at the end of that term, I will get a cut of that profit share. So it can also be a great way to build some passive income and your downline, as they call it. So you're encouraged to bring great people to the office. Okay, let's talk about a few tech and tools. So at KW, we have KW Command, which is a huge database included in your monthly fee. And that has your CRM, your customer relationship management software. It is also very mirrored closely to Trello. So if you like Trello and you like the organization of all of the steps, they have it like that. It is basically your hub for everything KW, and you can even find referral partners on there. So that is something that is included in your monthly office fee. And then we also have the KW Agent app. So I personally don't use either of these too extensively. I definitely use Command more than the app, of course, because our transactions are all fed through there and the contact list is something that I keep in there. You can schedule emails through there. You can run social media campaigns. So there's a lot of things that you can do with KW Command that, you know, if you don't even have a CRM, this could be a great perk. Now we're gonna move on to training and education. First, I would like to say that KW offers a lot of training and education opportunities, and you could truly be a full-time student at KW. So you have to be intentional and cautious about what you actually do sign up to go do, because you don't necessarily just want to be a full-time student. It's important to continue to learn, but you don't need to go to every single class. Nothing is mandatory at KW, I will say that. The office meetings, the trainings, nothing is mandatory as far as I know. Again, disclaimer, every office is different. You can kind of pick and choose what you need or want to go to. If you're transferring from another brokerage, maybe you don't need to go to those beginner classes. But if you are a beginner, KW has endless amount of training opportunities and mentoring opportunities, coaching opportunities that you can take advantage of. So if you're worried about, I don't know what I'm doing and I just want to be the best I can be, KW might be a great place for you, because like I said, they have a designated broker on staff. There's always somebody that you can get a hold of, and they have a lot of training opportunities as well. They also will pay for your pre-licensing education. So if you haven't even started towards getting your real estate license yet, you might want to check into KW if you think you're going to end up working there, because you could get your pre-licensing completely paid for. They also have Ignite and Bold, as well as national conventions like the Mega Agent Camp and Family Reunion. These are all optional, but I will say they are highly encouraged, and you may get that feeling. It's very much a community and high energy culture, I will say. So you just have to be comfortable enough to say no to the things that you don't want to do. I definitely felt a lot of pressure when I was first over at KW, and Bold was not in my budget. Bold is like $800 and it's in the fall. And I felt a lot of pressure to go to that as a new to KW agent. And it wasn't a priority of mine, although everyone who's gone says that it's absolutely amazing. So I think it's great that they offer all of these things. But again, if you are someone like me who kind of takes things personally and is a chronic people pleaser, I'm just gonna warn you up front, you're gonna have to get comfortable with saying no to certain trainings, opportunities, conventions, and just stay true to yourself and stay firm on your decision. Don't let anybody sway you. But that's probably the only negative that I have to share about KW at this point. So take with that what you will. Coaching and mentoring opportunities at all levels is truly an absolute godsend. I have been coached the entire time that I've been at KW, and I am not a top producer, and they just see the potential in me. And I also have another business. In addition, I'm wearing my Social Buzz hat today, actually. I have another business in addition to real estate, and thankfully my coach and our operating principal, Laura, she recognizes that and she is totally on board with that. One of KW's sayings or mantras is living a life by design, and that truly means whatever you want it to be. So however you want your life to look like, if you're just doing real estate on the side, you're just doing it to go on a couple vacations with your family each year, and your goal is to sell 5 houses during the year, KW will help you achieve that, and they will celebrate that. So it's not all about being the top producing agent every single time. They will coach you on the life that you want, and they will help you build your business around the life you want as well. So if you really want to have a lot of time off, they will bring you back to reality. And like, let's think about how much time you can actually spend each week on real estate if you, let's say, want to have, 4 days off during the week. Then you have to get real about how your life and your work are going to look together. Okay, now let's talk about a franchise and a larger brokerage versus a smaller boutique brokerage. At the beginning, I told you that I used to work for a small boutique brokerage, and when I first started in real estate, I thought large brokerages were so intimidating. I think that's how a lot of people think, is a larger brokerage is going to be more intimidating, more fish in the sea, and you're just going to get lost. But it's actually the opposite. I'm here to tell you it's the opposite. So if you have this concern that you're nervous to go over to a larger brokerage, don't be. Especially at KW, my experience in particular, if you are willing to show up and put yourself out there and get involved in the culture and get involved in the office, you will see that return to you. You will see it come back to you. So if you're gonna pour in effort, they're gonna give you effort back. If you don't pour in the effort, they might not pour the effort back. But you know, we have to have some give and take. So I think that being at a larger brokerage, I've really seen it be amazing for assistant opportunities, opportunities to shadow and cover for other agents. So if you're just starting out and you need some cash on hand and you want to cover another agent's showings or do an open house and get some practice in, that's something that you're going to have the opportunity for at a larger brokerage versus a smaller boutique brokerage, because you're just gonna have more agents to pull from and more opportunities in your hands. Another thing I love about KW is you get to use your own colors and branding. Keller Williams is an internationally recognized brand as well, so it already has great brand awareness. And if that's important to you, KW might be a good fit. All right, we have reached the end of the video and I am gonna give my overall opinion on a few things. So if any of these apply to you, KW might be a great option. Okay, let's do it. KW is a great option if you're a new agent. Offices are typically larger and offer opportunities for mentorship and shadowing like we just discussed. KW also might be a great option if it's important to you to have a capping structure. KW is a great option if you're a dual career agent. Like myself, I own 2 different businesses. I have my real estate business and then I have a social media business. If you are a full-time whatever, and then you also want to do real estate, and if you want to make that transition eventually, or even if you don't, KW can be a great option for doing both. KW is a great option if you want more marketing freedom. There are a lot of brokerages that do not let you stray too far from their colors. They have to have the signs that are provided by the brokerage. You can't put much personality into it. So if you are craving more marketing freedom and wanting to build your own personal brand, KW might be the right fit for you. And my last point is KW is a great option if tech and evolution is exciting to you. Social media is becoming more and more important in our current atmosphere and for marketing your business. And you're watching right now on social media, believe it or not. YouTube is a social media platform and here we are. So yeah, if tech and evolution is exciting to you and important to you, and you want a company that takes social media seriously and is always trying to improve and be in the now, and it's 2025 when we're filming this, like if you want to be in the current year, in the current atmosphere, KW is a great option. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you love about KW. Let me know what you don't love about KW in the comments so we can help other people make this exciting decision for where they are going to practice real estate. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was super, super helpful, and I'll see you next week.